Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, or QNT. And I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope everybody's having a great night. I hope everybody has a great New Year's Eve and also even New Year's. But with all of that in mind, we're just going to jump in. We're going to be talking about QNT. I do want to dive into some older news, but I do want to connect it to everything that has been unfolding this year alone in QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate it. So overall, the market sentiment right now is fairly bearish, and we do know that QNT down here sitting at number, I think it's like 63. There she is. You know, it's down a little bit, nothing too crazy overall. We are seeing some more, a little bit of a bounce back in terms of the market from earlier today at around 3 p.m. But overall, I'm not too concerned on the price action. You guys already know me. I think that this is a buy and HODL asset. I don't really care about short-term price volatility or anything like that. I pretty much trade other assets and use their profits to accumulate QNT. This year alone, we have seen some major gains, but I still think that QNT's future is endless for what it is focused on. I've always talked to you guys about interoperability at scale. The interoperability market cap right now, sitting at about 12.7 billion, is absolutely nothing. I think that interoperability by itself has not even, found its true potential, and I don't think a lot of people are realizing how big interoperability is. But also, once they do find out how massive interoperability is as a use case, they're going to look at something like QNT and be like, I can't believe I just found this at this price. And at that price, it's going to be well beyond the price that we're at currently. I just think that it's only a matter of time before the value behind QNT is, realized. 1,500% this year to date, that's nothing compared to what we are going to see in the future. For right now, I will say this. I don't really care about short-term price volatility or price action in general, but I do continue to update you all on the price action because I know that there's a lot of individuals out there that do care about the price action, and it is still as followed. If we don't break down below, $136, I'm fine with that. If we can break above $206, I get very bullish because this, in my mind, once we break above $206, once we get that nice impulse up, all right, because right now, as you guys do see where we are currently at, we're pretty much at that demand zone before we broke out in September to about $488. Okay, I think that this is pretty much closing the gap in on a similar, nice, pretty much, impulse up. You can pretty much see how long this was in this date range. So we'll just go off of pretty much this point where we had that nice impulse. It was about 32 days. Okay, and currently right now, since that nice little, we'll go off of this impulse here, it's been about 19 days. And if you really want to go back, since we pretty much dropped below this level, it's been about 30 days. I think that QNT is really set to have a nice impulse similar to this, except we're not going to top out at about $480. We're going to almost $600 plus at least on this next major run up. I think that the FOMO and the demand on QNT is going to be very exciting to see. We're seeing a little bit of volume flow in. We're actually seeing, volume flow in the last 2 days. It hasn't been too strong, but it has been greater volume that we've seen since around December 15th. So it is clear to me to really kind of focus on that, volume aspect because it is significant. But also in terms of the Bitcoin price chart, we also see us pretty much trading sideways with more volume here as well. But it's not that great in terms of, going back to December 24th, for an example, that's where we did see a lot more volume than we've seen today. But we did see yesterday a little bit more volume flow into QNT, so that's fairly exciting as well. Now, I'm not too focused, like I said, on price action. I think that this is a buy and HODL asset, but I figured I would just update you guys on the targets that we're still waiting for us to grasp. Right now on the Bitcoin price chart for QNT, we're waiting for 4,476 sats. And on the USD chart, just to give you guys that quick insight again, we're waiting for $206 to pretty much be retargeted and also find support there. But I do want to talk to you guys about why, in my mind, 2022 is going to be very significant. So as we do see ISO 222 tokens making the stage, and as we do see more so CBDCs being adopted we see more and more talks about this. I think that, QNT's future is inevitable. I think that we are going to see, I seriously don't see a crypto market where the top 10 list doesn't include QNT. I think that QNT at scale is going to take this entire market by storm. I think a lot of individuals are going to really see QNT shine greatly once CBDCs are in place and once utility is really taken over. We do see here from the CEO of Quant, we're laying the infrastructure for CBDCs and making CBDCs interoperable for wholesale and retail CBDCs, domestic and cross-border payments. Now, the funny thing about cross-border payments is, in terms of the massive amounts of volume that will flow over these networks, to truly understand how big these major networks will be, it's going to be mind-boggling volumes. And it kind of takes me back to this, where we did see, this is from February 25th. Mind-boggling volumes will flow through the network of networks with participants like central banks, financial institutions, governments, FMIs, trade consortia as well. The list goes on and on. And we've seen so much happen throughout this year with QNT, from Oracle to, major names like SIA as well. I'm just very excited for 2022 because we know that there's going to be a lot more that comes to fruition with this. And the best part about this is the market that QNT is set to pretty much target. For an example, we see here, QNT aims to be the preferred router/module connectivity solution for the monster, exponential age, QNT. Okay, and this is more so talking about globalization 2.0, cross-border payments. Now this, when we're talking about the future of payments and the innovation beyond the scene, we look at the volume of these. We see here, cross-border payments are significant in terms of both their value and volume, and expected to total an astonishing $250 trillion by 2027. Currently, they're valued at about $155 trillion. And we do see here, to give an idea of their relative significance compared to domestic payments, in 2019, the UK's high-value payment system, CHAPS, processed around 34 trillion pounds, or, that's compared to 41 trillion pounds in domestic payments. So these are fairly large in terms of cross-border payments to even domestic payments. I'm just very excited to see this really unfold, because in terms of the challenges beyond this, so we always look at even XRP, really disrupting the scene, but the challenges are speed, transparency, cost, and access. Digital assets on DLT systems integrated with RTGS last milestone systems can meet those 4 criteria, including side chains. Now, like I said, with all of this in mind, it kind of leads me back to QNT really connecting all of this, being the interoperability layer for this. DLTs are truly the future. They are the forefront of adoption for cross-border payments and really making these work efficiently. Now, like I said, when we're talking about the connectivity layer of these, it's the network of networks, aka the operating system of tomorrow. I know I say that a lot, but when we're talking about connecting all of these, we know that DLTs are going to be huge. We know that DLTs in general are going to settle trillions of transactions a year in terms of their value, but I do think that they still need the connectivity layer. And that's why QNT in 2022 will be so huge in terms of adoption, because we've already seen so much confirmed. Oracle, Deloitte, KPMG, MIT, PwC, SIA, Nexi, Nets. Over the next year, this list will go to 100x. Oracle alone represents 435,000 clients, so maybe 500,000, right? Or 500x, sorry. This is, in my mind, the future. All right, being able to connect them all into one massive network, aka the overledger network, or the operating system of tomorrow. When we're talking about how big DLTs are, everybody thinks like, oh, I'm invested into XRP because XRP is going to settle this many transactions, or I'm invested into HBAR because they're focusing on this layer, whatever the layer is. We look at tokenization first off by itself, $24 trillion by 2027. We know how big that's going to be. But if you're looking at these DLTs, they all can't, provide immense value if they're not interconnected and being able to communicate with one or the other, right? Gossiping through protocols or consensus mechanisms. QNT allows for these, to actually communicate, to, transact between one network and the other network. QNT is the network bridge for these. That's why I do believe that it's going to be so much bigger than everybody really kind of sees. Okay? And we just seen QNT also say, excited to announce that our partner Oracle has certified Overledger to deliver interoperability for the Oracle blockchain platform. Right? This goes back to November 15th. The reason why I bring this back up is because when we're talking about, partnerships like this, everybody thought that, QNT, yeah, whatever, it's not going to be as big as Bitcoin. It's not going to be this, that. A partnership like this alone should tell you how big QNT is going to be. Okay? 435,000 clients, all bridged through one massive network. QNT allows for the bridging of these networks to be connected. Okay? And then we've seen back in February 25th of this year alone, the scale of 6 digital exchange through the project Helvetia, right? It's going to be POC between the Bank of International Settlements, the Swiss National Bank, and SIX themselves on settling tokenized assets in central bank money using DLT technologies. And we see that through this entire, proof of concept in terms of investigated cases. It's going to be tokenized assets in general by the transfer of them through, these major networks. And what do these networks need? They still need an interoperability layer. And the reason why QNT in my mind is confirmed for this is we go back in time, again, February 25th, in terms of SDX, right? So it was deleted actually by SDX Global. Don't know why it was deleted, but we do see here, QNT was listed. It was in there as becoming, a fundamental asset for interoperability to connect with these DLTs to allow the transfer of tokenized assets. Without that bridge and without that network connecting them, how will they be able to transact something like a tokenized asset through Helvetia, aka the DLT technology that will be utilized with this? They need QNT. SDX is a huge, overall company. They are the leading exchange for digital assets. This is going to be, and you can pretty much see here, where professionals can access, transfer, and store value. In my mind, they need QNT to be the network of networks for this. And we have been seeing so many updates within this. Even going back to December 8th, BDF, SNB, BIS, and 6 Digital Exchange successfully complete cross-border WCBDC experiment. And we're seeing a few names listed here, right? Now, this is Project Eura. We've talked about Project Eura in the past, but this is in collaboration with Accenture, Credit Suisse, Natixis, I hope that I said that right, R3, 6 Digital Exchange, and UBS. I'm just saying, if we have confirmation with QNT, all of these major, companies, all these major exchanges, all of these major DLTs and digital assets will have to have an interoperability layer, aka some sort of, network that allows them all to communicate with one another. QNT, in my mind, is that. There's no other asset in this space that is doing interoperability like QNT. And all of these major networks that they're already working with, first off, R3 by itself is fairly large. Interwork Alliance by itself is fairly large. And of course, we do see the WEF. Why do I, wage my bets on QNT being as big as it's going to be? Because everything that we need to know is already there. This is the network of networks. Gilbert Verdian already compared QNT to Microsoft in its beginning stages. I truly do believe that QNT has not even seen its mass, movements yet. I don't even think individuals are realizing what QNT is doing. But if you look at the plumbing for the future financial infrastructure, QNT is going to be the plumbing for it. QNT is what's going to allow value to be transacted between these major DLT networks. Yeah, sure. I could say XRP is going to be huge all day long. I could say that XLM is going to be huge all day long. But what is going to allow them to pretty much target these major, markets? For example, XRP with Interledger Protocol. Interledger Protocol allows for it to be interoperable to banking layers and stuff like that. But it still needs an interoperability layer between the networks to networks. Not every area around the world in terms of CBDCs are going to choose one asset. That's the problem where a lot of people, pretty much misguide their conceptions on CBDCs. We're still going to see major countries choose specific DLTs, choose specific networks, and they're all going to have to be able to communicate with one or the other, aka gossip between one another to transact value and also assets. And how will they do that? Through QNT. That's why I believe at scale, in terms of a utility-driven market, at scale of DLTs being really the next major stepping stone in the future financial infrastructure, QNT is going to take this market by storm. So with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.